then only you can attempt these questions, these sections.
Yes, as they are new topics, so we all should not focus much on this, and because let's see this year paper, and we will get some idea about how it is going to be from next year. So second question is, econometrics is separated from old section of linear models and economic stats. Okay, and time series is separated from old section of stochastic process. What can we expect the level of questions from this topic, given that they have been separated out to a new section of econometrics and time series?
See,
so basically, they like the go ahead.
So stochastic process has been separated from time series. So they are going to ask stochastic process one complete section. So all the three questions will be based on stochastic process. Earlier, what used to be done was they add one or two questions from time series, and that too from advanced time series. But now they have changed this, pattern. God knows why. But one thing is for sure, they are going to give more focus on stochastic processes, and that is one thing that I would suggest you should prepare. I haven't prepared whenever, and I attempted my this RBI. So, and for time series, just you don't have to study basic time series that is being asked in ISS. You have to cover these advanced time series, these ARIMA models, AR models, MA models, all these type of questions. And for econometrics, I think the level should be somewhat what is asked in ISS examination, because they have increased the syllabus as well for econometrics part. They're going to for I think simultaneous equations as well. No, not simultaneous equations as well, and this multicollinearity, autocorrelation. So you should prepare this considering the level of ISS examination.
The syllabus doesn't include ANOVA, but we did see questions on ANOVA in past years for phase 2. Can we expect questions related to ANOVA this time as well? Like, he's asking that whether ANOVA will come or not.
You see, these are very small topics, so you should have some idea about these topics. You don't have to study everything. And since you have given phase 1 and you have ANOVA in the phase 1, so I think you should not devote too much time, but you should have some idea about these in back of your mind. So if it comes, you are able to solve these questions.
Okay. So, like in past year, a lot of questions were asked on inequality, basic Chebyshevs, etc. under the probability section. So, yes. But we don't see them listed in syllabus provided by RBI. So he's asking that whether they should study it or they should skip it.
No, you should definitely study these topics. If they have asked and they have not mentioned in the syllabus, that does not mean that they won't ask again. So, but yes, I think the standard is for having these inequalities and convergence topics is hard and paid, and you should also go for Rothby and Saleh to have a more clear understanding of these topics. And I think in the syllabus this year they have mentioned strong and weak law of large numbers, and also probability inequalities they have written. So they have mentioned this in the syllabus as well this time.
So I think instead of taking question, we should like doing in a way like I will like they have asked multiple question same question again and again. So I think we should like answer in such a way that we should go by topic wise. So yeah, for theory of probability and probability distribution, basically, what should they do? What is your what was your criteria? What was your strategy to prepare for these topics?
So this comes with two topics. It has theory of probability and sampling theory as well in the first section. So since I was preparing for ISS also, and most of you might be preparing. So sampling theory is one part that you must study for ISS, and that is something like compulsory subject for ISS. So you have sampling theory prepared, and now you have to choose at least one question from theory of probability. And as you know, you are preparing for RBI quiz one, as you have prepared, and you are preparing for maybe for ISS. So you have this also covered with you. But the thing is, change is only the pattern. You have to write the answers there. You don't have to just get to the solution. So that makes the difference. So I will tell you the answer writing part. So for this theory probability and the sampling theory, you know the books. If you don't, I would suggest for theory probability, go for Rothgi and Saleh, Howard and Craig, and Gupta Kapoor. That will be sufficient. And for sampling theory, for numericals, do refer to advanced sampling theory by Sarjinder Singh and William G. Cochrane, the sampling theory by William Cochrane. And if you have time, do give a look to Daroga Singh, the book by Daroga Singh on sampling, or you can see Sukhaknis on sampling theory.
So there are four books that Astitva sir has suggested. The one is Sajinder Singh, then Cochrane, then Daroga Singh, and then Sukhatni. Okay.
So one of the Daroga Singh or Sukhaknis. You don't have to study both the books. One of them is sufficient. And
Okay, any
that
one
only
of
if you
them.
have time. Do not devote too much time on studying these books because you have to just left what 27 days I think for the second phase.
Yeah. Okay. So now, coming on to next topic, it is linear model. What should they do?
Yes. So linear models and economic statistics. Earlier it was linear model and econometrics I think, and they have separated it from econometrics. For linear models, you have to read standard texts like linear models by Searle and Gruber, Marvin Gruber. And after that, you can refer to regression analysis by Shalab sir, the notes from the professor, IIT Kanpur professor Shalab sir. And if you have time, then do refer to linear regression analysis by Saber and G. So these three books will be sufficient for linear models. And I would tell you from where you can practice more questions on these topics at the end of this session. And for index number, it is sufficient. The Gupta Kapoor is sufficient very much. No need to refer any other book.
So for linear models and economic statistics, Astitva suggested some books, Shalab sir and other books. Don't worry about the name of books. I will be, sharing you a list of all books that he told. And then, like at the end of lecture, he's going to tell you about from where we have to solve numerical questions for linear model. Somebody asked, do we also need to cover demand analysis?
I think earlier they don't used to ask demand analysis, but I think this time they have added this Genius coefficient or stocks. So if you have studied for ISS examination, I would suggest you can just give it a look. But you haven't studied demand analysis, then don't go for it. You have enough of options from rest of the topics, rest of the sections. So I won't suggest going for demand analysis especially.
Yeah. For inference, what will you suggest?
See, inference is one thing that is going to fetch you good marks. So if you have a good command on inference, but see, again, the difference is the writing part. So you have to be very clear with the concepts. You don't have to just arrive to the answer solution. You are not going to, tick one of the options. It is not like RBI phase one or ISS paper one and paper two. So what is important first is read standard tests like Rothgi and Saleh and Kessler and Roger for inference. And for non-parametric tests and non-parametric statistical inference, do read Gibbons, book by Gibbons. I will share the list of the books with Mayank and I will tell you afterwards. And for writing part in inference, suppose they have asked some question on law of Blackwell theorem, and some numerical, some proof, and then a second part is numerical. So you have given them the proof. And now for the numerical, just you don't write by using law of Blackwell theorem, we are arriving at this. If you are mentioning any theorem, if you are writing anything else from apart from your usual numerical solutions, do mention it in detail. So what is law of Blackwell theorem? Just write it there in a bracket or somewhere with a different pen. Anyhow, by any means that you feel comfortable with, underline it and they move in a structured manner. So just don't jump to any answer writing as you see a question. First, make up mind that what should be your strategy, how it should be structured, how you should move from one step to another. And see, this will come not just in the examination hall. This you have to practice when you are at your home. So you have enough of time. You have practiced earlier as well. So practice this, how to write your answers, how to write in a structured manner. And for you can take help of your peer groups. You can take help of your friends if you want to get them checked whether you are writing it. And the best check is that uh, go for standard tests, how they are solving an example, how they are arriving at some solution in some examples. So you can follow that. That is sufficient for you to understand how to write an answer in examination.
For stochastic process,
See, I did not read stochastic process for descriptive phase. I read only for objective part, the phase one. So I don't know if I would be able to tell any book or good reference for stochastic process.
okay. So stochastic process, ASTITVA is not prepared, so we won't be telling. Like for multivariate analysis,
Yeah, multivariate analysis is a very good section in this, and it also it fetches you good marks. And for the theory part, I would suggest you go for Introduction to Multivariate Statistical Analysis by T.W. Anderson. And for numericals, book by Johnson and Newton, the Applied Multivariate Analysis is sufficient. So these two books would be sufficient. And if you want to clear the concepts, you can refer to the lectures by Professor Amit Mitra sir, professor at IIT Kanpur. That would be enough for multivariate analysis.
okay. Now coming on to the top, econometrics and time series, what should be the strategy?
Yes. So for econometrics, as you see that they have separated this section from earlier linear models, and now they have, I think, somewhat increased the syllabus as well. So be prepared for that. And I will suggest three very basic books: Basic Econometrics by Gujarati, and Econometric Analysis by Shalabh Notes. And then for simultaneous equation class, you can refer to Shehzad Chaudhary's book on econometrics. That these books are easily available in PDF form on the internet. You can have them from there. And for time series part, that too for the advanced time series. They don't ask basic time series. You can refer to time series analysis and its application by Robert Shumway and time series and forecasting by Rockwell and Davis. So these two would be sufficient for this time series part.
Okay. And this is again, coming on to last sections, this is new topic. So we
Yes.
won't be able to comment much on this. Right, now,
Yes.
you all can ask your question in chat box. Okay. So yeah, it's for stochastic, which book we prefer? That like Astit was not prepared for that, so he won't be able to comment on that. Pragya is asking, do we also need to cover demand analysis? Already answered. For multivariate, what to study, numerical or derivations? So
You see, what they ask is that in one part they would be asking some theorems, some proofs, or some derivations, and in another part they would ask the numericals based on the first part. So yes, you have to study these derivations as well, and you can get an idea of what kind of derivations, what kind of proofs they ask from the PYQs. See, yes, I know that they have given only 5 PYQs, and that too up till 2016. So, but they are sufficient for you to understand the depth of the questions that they will be asking in the examination. And they are not giving every question from the PYQs. So they are just telling you that what could be the possible extent of these questions from any sections. So you have to analyze those PYQs for that purpose only.
okay. So for multivariate, like you have to study both numerical and derivation both. In one part, the derivation will come, and in another part, most probably numerical will come. And in books already, two books, he told us like one for Anderson for subjective part, like to derivation proofs, and then for numerical, Johnson is there. Okay, for stochastic, what would that question can't be answered by us? How many questions we have to attempt, and what is the limit from each section? That like there are 3 questions in each section, and you can attempt at not more than 2. you can attend only 2 from, then you need to answer 5 questions almost, in total. For stochastic, which book we prefer? Prefer J. Mehdi. How J. Mehdi is a book, please prefer it. Okay, or just DM me, for stochastic, I will gather some information. DM me. I will try to answer you. How to prepare for English descriptive? Yeah, this is a good question.
Yes. Now for English, you have 3 questions, and one is essay writing, another is essay writing, and the third one is unseen passage. So they have mentioned that they will be asking letter writing, but they don't generally ask letter writing. Instead of that, they ask unseen passage. So the letter writing part was when they were having this pen paper based examination for English part as well. But now they have the keyboard, the computer based examination, wherein you have to type your answers using keyboard. So that does not make it possible for letter writing to be asked in this examination. So, but just have take an idea. Maybe they can ask, have an idea of letter writing, how to write a letter, just very basis of this. But I don't think they would be asking for, because from my experience from 2 attempts, they haven't asked letter writing. They have just gone for unseen process, the unseen comprehension process. So attempt all the 3 questions. First key, do not leave any question on the cost of other, that you were busy attempting one question very well and you left the other question. Don't do that. Prepare some essays on national importance, few from banking and economy. Practice using keyboard, and that too from additional keyboard, not your laptop keyboard, because in their test center you won't be getting your feather test keyboard. And structure your answers first. Do not just start writing on the keyboard. Do not do that. First, make your mind what you have to write, what you don't have to write, in what time you have to write, everything. And that you see that these all things will come from practice. You won't be able to solve them if you haven't practiced at your home. So, and another thing is, don't make any spelling mistakes. And just check once, twice, thrice, and they do not exceed the word count. And for word count, they change the word counts every year. So maybe they can increase in essay part, they can decrease from essay part. So just see what is the word count they have asked in each of the questions. And if you are not able to see the number of word counts that you have written, just scroll down and you will see the word count that you have written already. So just keep a tab on that also. So that is all for English part. If you have any other query, you can ask there.
Yeah. Can you please tell them some textbook or some site, from where they can see questions and all?
See, I would say that you can refer to any of the IS sites, those who prepare for IAS examination. They will be sufficient. There is no any other particular site for RBI, JP, and that too for DSIM. So English is a very general subject. So if you are visiting any of the websites who prepare for IAS examination, that will be sufficient.
Okay. What is the current pattern means section of phase 2 for so this year Vishank, syllabus has been given in details. That is why we are saying current pattern. Previous year it was not. There are some modification in the syllabus, so that's why we are referring it as current pattern. What are the most school? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Earlier there used to be 6 sections. So last year there used to be 6 sections, and there were 3 questions each. So there were 18 questions in all, and you had to attempt 5 questions from those 18 questions, and 5 questions that too with not more than 2 questions from any sections. So at least you have to attempt 3 sections to cover those 5 questions. And but this year they have increased this number of sections from 6 to 8, and probably they will be asking 3 questions, I think, from each section as they used to. So now you have 24 questions if they are asking 3 questions from each section, and you have to attempt 5 questions. So now you have an upper hand. You have more options. But as I said, these 2 new topics, we don't know what kind of question they will be asking. So prepare your conventional part, traditional questions that they have asked earlier as well.
Okay. So, somebody is asking that what are most scoring and comparatively easy sections in the statistics? That is a very subjective question that depends on you, but still ask it, please.
Yes. So that is something that you have to ask yourself. So there are sections, there are enough sections. Some people have statistical inference, so very well they have the strength, and some people have multivariate analysis. So you have to ask yourself what is your strength and what is your weakness, and prepare accordingly. You cannot prepare everything, but you cannot also leave anything. So ask this question yourself. That will tell you what is easy for you and what is tough for you.
Okay. Sir, in last year, from which topic the question came in multivariate and sampling? Somebody asking
I
that.
remember from multivariate, they asked principal component analysis and canonical correlation as well. Sampling, I don't remember anything. I think there was a question from Neyman's allegation.
What, please? What about sampling?
Sampling, I think there was a question from Neyman's allegation.
Okay. Then, yeah, is there any change in number of questions to be attempted? That we cannot. That you are going to know after in the examination only.
Yes, they haven't mentioned anything for that specifically, and but it seems that there will be 5 questions to be attempted because the maximum marks is still 100. They have increased the number of sections, but still the maximum marks is 100. So I think there will be 5 questions, but we don't know how much marks they will be allocating to all these questions. So there may be some change.
How many sections we should prepare to be on safest side? Like as much as you can, and the constraint is that whatever you are preparing, do it well. Like if you are preparing just 3 topics and you are doing it well, then it's more than enough. If you are preparing 5 topics and you are not doing it, preparing it well, then then things can go wrong. So you have to prepare.
Yes.
Whatever you prepare, prepare it well. Solve a lot number of questions. Be comfortable in that. How to prepare for precise writing any book or channel? As you mentioned, you have to see any channel, anything for related to IAS. There you can get plenty of precise writing and expansion, everything you will get. What may be prelims cutoff? It will be around 50 to 55. The prelims cutoff is going to increase from past year because things are relatively easy this year. Any more question, anybody?
See, I would like to add something if you don't have any questions. So you have to understand the key difference with the ISS examination and the RBI phase 2 special. See, it asks for proofs, it asks for answering in details, and that becomes difficult for the sections like inference, linear models, probability, and any other topics which are asked in paper 1 and paper 2. So be very vigilant about this. 5 PYQs are sufficient, I think. And if you want to solve more questions, you can refer to statistics optional paper of CFE, Civil Service Examination, and Indian Forest Service Examination. I would like to share one thing that in my first attempt, there was a question from linear model on this is something like a pendulum-based question, and I did not know how to solve that question. So I was not selected in the first attempt, as you know, and then I strategized. I made some strategies, and I started solving the CSE paper as well. And I found that same question was asked in CSE examination earlier. And then I know that just the level of the question, the difficulty level, everything, you can judge from those 5 PYQs. And if any addition you want to know something, you can refer to these papers. They ask some very good questions in the CSE and IR Forest Service examination in the statistics part. You must try to solve them. Do not try to solve every question, that is not needed, but you should get an idea what is the different types of questions, how can they be asked, and how you should prepare them. So that is one thing I will suggest for answer writing part. Do solve these questions how much however you can. Just share with your friends. If some questions are being solved by some other friends, then share among your groups.
Okay. So no, he's saying that basically you all should attempt CSC and forest services exams also of the relevant topics that you want to prepare. So, and Astitva has got one like Telegram channel also. So there in his notes, there are plenty of questions that he solved. Like when you see his linear model notes, after the theory part is over, there is there are plenty of questions that you can see of linear model. And same is for multivariate analysis also. There are two PDF that is uploaded there. In one PDF, the theory part is there, and some questions are there. In another PDF, there is lot questions, so you can prepare from there also. One multivariate question was incomplete. Will they eliminate or not? That depends on them. It is a wrong question. The one question is wrong. Everybody know that. So that depends on them. Whether they are going to award marks to everybody or they are going to drop the question. We don't have any idea about that, because that is conducted by IBPS. And if you are going to mail them, they won't be giving you a clear answer. Okay.
See, don't worry about these things. You don't have any control on these things. Just prepare for what is coming next, and whatever will happen, everyone will be facing the same thing. It is not like they will be allocating marks to some people and drop the questions for some other people. So don't worry about these things. These are not in your control. You just do what you can and control the controllables.
Yeah. So they're asking expected result date of phase 1. So they haven't given any official date. So anybody don't know, but in 1 or 2 days it will come out. Okay, so don't focus much on phase 1 exam now, like your question was wrong or something, like the paper was wrong. Don't discuss it. Like if 1 or 2 questions will go wrong, you will get demotivated. I have seen people who have got 60 and still they have qualified for RBI. I have seen people who have got 85 90 in phase 1 and they were not able to clear it. So whatever have happened, leave it. Now focus on subjective phase. So I think everybody's question has been answered. And if anybody want to answer in question anything, write. Okay, so I think all of you question have answered. So should we end this session? Anybody want to ask anything?
So I think it is enough. They have asked every queries. Now they should ask themselves what should they do and prepare well. All the best. And if you have any queries, you can send that to Mayan sir, and he will forward that to me. And all the best.
Yeah, so I think like there was a bit of a network problem. So there is a bit of network problem. So because Astitva is right now, I think somewhere out of towns that you have mentioned. Okay, yeah, sure. Please message me, or just can you share the link of all important Telegram channel? Yeah. So do you like everybody know my number? I think. Yeah. If anybody don't know, I'm again repeating. It is. I'm writing in the chat box. 945316. Please WhatsApp on this number for any info. I will be sharing the list of book, in the group that we have. So you can see from there. And if anybody you have any doubt, you can DM me on this number. So thank you all of you, and thank you Astitva for such a beautiful session. That was quite informative.
Yes.
And you all know that key. Yeah.
So I'm sorry that I haven't been able to take the session earlier because of I'm undergoing probationary training and we don't get enough of time. But still, if you have any queries, you can ask Mac and we can arrange another session whenever possible.
Okay, he's somebody asking assignment of sampling from where to prepare. So assignment of sampling, I don't know where it is. Kajal. Assignment of sampling.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, Astitva said na ki at last of the session I will said where we will get assignment. Sometimes we refer book but still we can't unable to solve the questions of sampling, sir.
Okay, okay, Astitva, please answer.
Sir,
You
please.
can solve from advanced sampling theory from by Sarjinder Singh. That is a good book. That is enough for questions on sampling numerical based questions.
Sir, your voice is quite low, sir. Can you share the reference?
Yeah, see, whatever, material and all, he told, I will like, he will like, I will be sharing that all the books and, from where to solve. So don't worry about the material that he mentioned. Okay. We will
Okay,
be
sir.
sharing that. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Welcome. So Astitva, thank you for this session. Okay. So we
Thank you,
can
Vinay.
leave
Thank
now.
you, everyone.
Okay.